Okay, another red flag. All right.
It's contempt.
Contempt. I don't know what that means. Contempt of court. I've heard that term.
It's communication that conveys disrespect, superiority, a disgust toward your partner.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just
okay.
And this is one of Gottman's, as a matter of fact.
This is one of the Gottman. So you learned that in your training?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
This is one of Gottman's rules.
Okay. Okay.
So sometimes people will eye roll, like, oh my gosh, that.
And you're saying that's contemptible.
Yeah, it's like disgust toward the other partner. I hate to see that between a couple. I want them to communicate. I don't want them to be eye rolling. Just say, sweetheart, I don't feel that was whatever. Talk. Instead of using that's a nonverbal communication style. But mocking and name calling, we already said that.
Now hold on. Good. See, now I try to put myself. The thing about doing these shows is I feel like we learn as much as you guys do as we talk back through this stuff. So I try to put myself in this situation. So when you say eye rolling, I'm going to trust you that that's contemptible behavior. I never honestly really thought about it as at the list of stuff that's like don't do. Mm-hmm. I can see me doing that. So I can see me rolling my eyes, right?
Really?
I can. I don't know that I do it.
I've not noticed.
But I can see me doing it.
I can probably see me doing it sometimes.
Whereas mocking and name calling with you, I can't see me doing that. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't want
I've got sarcasm. Mm-hmm. Now, you say sarcasm that belittles. I mean, sarcasm is kind of I speak sarcasm fluently. So.
But it's not belittling. That's the word. That's the key.
Okay. So it's not just sarcasm. So eye rolling, mocking or name calling, sarcasm that belittles. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
And just dismissing, your partner's feelings in disgust. Like, a person has the right to feel what they feel. And you need to be able to hear that. Now, does it make it right or wrong?
Okay, that's what I was about to ask you.
It doesn't make it right.
That's what I was about to ask you.
Yeah, it doesn't make it right. But I want to be able to hear that and to say, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but, this is how I feel, or, but that person needs to express that feeling if it's something that they feel that they are experiencing. Mm-hmm.
Now, you say dismissing your partner's feelings with disgust. Mm-hmm. This is what you say.
Okay.
It's considered the most dangerous communication style in relationship. It erodes trust, safety, and emotional connection. Mm-hmm. Really?
It just did all of that. You're exactly right. I mean, doesn't it?
I'm just
saying, put yourself in that person's position. If I'm looking at you in disgust.
Okay. I'm not arguing with you. I guess I just never thought about this.
So another one.
Okay.
Is scorekeeping.
Oh, I keep
That's a
score.
red flag.
I keep score.
I
don't keep score with you though. But with everybody else, I keep score. But I'll keep score with you. I have you in a different program. You know that.
That's
right,
what you say.
Yeah, I got you in a different little box. That you're the only person in America in that box. So yeah, I'm working on expanding the box, the circle of trust. Y'all saw Meet the Fockers. I'm working on expanding my circle, but right now I got a really narrow circle with Teresa in it. What about the kids? No, they ain't in the circle.
They're not in the circle.
No, they ain't in the circle.
So scorekeeping is like I'm tallying up all the things from our past, and I'm keeping score. Well, you did this, I'm going to do this. Those back and forth type. We don't have time for that.
Okay, now stop right there.
I did.
Doesn't everybody do that intentionally or not?
Not necessarily intent. Well, I'm going to say, what's the word?
Let's say I don't bring it up. But can I prevent a score from running in the background of my brain?
No,
I don't know. Maybe I can.
What's the word I'm trying to say? It's not. You said intentionally. I'm going to say what's the word when you're not conscious? Unconsciously, we do. Okay. I think we do kind of tally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, unconsciously. That's the word I want to say. So yeah, you did the dishes 3 times, and now or I did the dishes 3 times, and now it's your time to do the dishes 3 times. Well, let me
Why,
say
why you
that.
counting? Why you counting?
That's what I'm saying. Whatever it takes to
Okay,
make our
okay,
household work, that's what we need to be doing.
okay.
But I'm just showing. We're just talking about how people do scorekeep, and that's not a good thing to deal with when you're talking.
Scorekeeping is not a good thing.
Right,
Okay, I
it's not
got
a
you.
good thing.
Turns a relationship into a competition instead of a partnership.
Yeah,
It builds resentment and discourages grace or forgiveness. Oh wow, that's tough.
that's a
right
big
there.
one.
That is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need God's grace,
Mm-hmm.
so I should be extending grace.
Absolutely.
Do you guys realize if you pray the Lord's Prayer, what you're actually praying? Forgive our debtors as we forgive our debts. Forgive those who trespass against us as we forgive those. It's basically saying, you're basically praying, treat me like I treat other people.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, once I figured that out, I thought long and hard before I kept praying that. But okay. All right. What do you mean when you say weaponizing vulnerability? Hey, you're using a lot of technical clinical terms in this discussion. I noticed
Well, I
weaponizing
wanted to
vulnerability.
really talk about, kind of bring up some of the things I've heard in our society today.
Okay, tell me.
And
Because you're out there in the streets, Teresa. I'm not out there with, so tell me.
it's like you're taking what someone has shared with you in trust, and you're just using it against them.
That wouldn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, whether it makes sense or not,
For a couple.
for a couple.
Well, it wouldn't make any sense for anybody, but
Right,
especially for
especially for a couple, it wouldn't
yeah.
make any sense. So those are red flags that really cause problems in relationships. I don't want to hurt you. Does that make sense? That's not my goal.
Okay. So now weaponizing vulnerability. Do you have an example? So you're saying I was completely vulnerable with you,
Right.
and I shared something with you.
Yeah.
Hey, Teresa.
And then you use it, you turn it around, you make me feel shameful about it, you manipulate me with it, and it just hurts.
Hey, Teresa. When we'll be on these podcasts doing these shows, and you keep using those clinical terms with your fancy with your fancy master's degree, that it makes me feel what's the word?
I don't
It
know.
makes me feel less than. So let's say I shared that with you in confidence. Then the way you
I come on
weaponize.
here and tell it.
Okay, I got
If
you.
you told me that in private, and then I come on here and make you feel bad about it.
Why would you do that?
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's called a red flag. It's not a good thing to do. But some people do that because they're hurting the other person. Sometimes they think it's like
They
bringing.
think it's helping?
No, they think it's let me keep them down, or it's not a positive. It's really an insecurity on that person's part. Does that make sense? They're saying it to keep another person lower than them to a degree mentally, or not bringing them up to the same. They're not
Okay.
trying to uplift them. They're trying to keep them down.
Okay.
And that's an insecurity part on that person's part that does it.
Okay. All right. So you share some great examples.
Mhm.
I guess if I just wait to let you finish that, you mentioned like somebody sharing, I've shared, or you've observed that I'm clingy.
Mhm.
So later you say to me, you're so clingy, no wonder none of your past relationships worked.
Mhm.
That's just hurtful.
That is very
That's just
hurtful.
hurtful.
Well, I'm just
what kind of person says these things?
I'm just saying they do.
Okay, one spouse confesses past financial mistakes. And they later hear, of course you want to handle the money. We know how well that went last time. Hey, by the way, you said something hurtful to me.
Oh, I know, I remember.
But now here, okay, to me this is a great story because you said something hurtful that was uncharacteristic, and I don't hold it against you. So the fact that I bring it up, it really does not bother me. But
But I said it like you say, it was a very difficult time for us.
So listen to men. We told the story. We built this company. We lost everything. We filed bankruptcy. We went from owning over 100 houses to losing our personal house. And Teresa said to me in the midst of this crisis, she said something she wanted to do, something you wanted to do, which of course we couldn't afford to do. And you make the comment like, we could have done this. I could have done this before you lost all our money. Again, it was an uncharacteristic comment.
It was.
I didn't take it personal. You remember what I said?
Because it wasn't true either. That's another thing you have
Well,
to
well,
really
it wasn't true.
It
It
wasn't
wasn't
true.
true.
Right.
But I guess what I'd say this in terms of you've built the relationship capital with me. Now, nobody wants to hear this day in and day out, right?
Mhm.
But an isolated once in every other decade or so kind of comment, or maybe once in a lifetime, I can overlook that